Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. Today we are going to talk about Christopher Marlowe, one of the greatest writers of the university race. He was born in Canterbury in 1564 and educated at Cambridge. Marlowe is celebrated for his dramatic blank verse, and he was charged with immorality and atheism. He died at an early age of 29 in 1593. Marlowe's reputation as a playwright rests upon his great tragedies, which were written within 5 years between 1587 to 1592. His great tragedies are Tamburlaine the Great, having two parts, Jew of Malta, Edward II, and Dr Faustus. All his tragedies portrays power in different ways through the protagonist of his plays. His great tragedy, Dr Faustus, which was performed in 1594 by Lord Admiral's men 1 year after the death of Christopher Marlowe. And in this video, we are going to discuss in detail all the important questions from the play Dr Faustus.
Who said Marlowe's use of blank verse as Marlowe's mighty line? Ben Jonson. Where did Shakespeare pay his tribute to Marlowe? In his play As You Like It, he quoted a line from Hero and Leander. According to some critics and historians, the Dead Shepherd refers to Marlowe. Marlowe's plays became successful due to the acting of Edward Allen. Name the theatrical company of Edward Allen. Admiral's Men, also called Lord Admiral's Men, a theatrical company in Elizabethan and Jacobean England. The leading player of the Admiral's Men was Edward Allen. Who said Marlowe, the father of English tragedy and the creator of English blank verse, was therefore also the teacher and guide of Shakespeare? The poet Algernon Charles Swinburne. Which are the two texts available for the play Dr Faustus? A text and B text. First published in 1604 in a version called the A text and revised edition which appeared in 1616 known as B text. Name the source of the play Dr Faustus. German Faustbuch. The book is translated to English by P.F. Gent under the title The History of the Damnable Life and Deserved Death of Dr. John Faustus. What is the complete title of the play Dr. Faustus? The Tragical History of the Life and Death of Dr. Faustus. Who is the first speaker in the play? Chorus. In the prologue, Chorus informs the audience that it is the story of Faustus. According to Chorus, Faustus is fallen with cunning, and Chorus compares Faustus to Icarus. We know the story of Icarus from Greek mythology. In the beginning of the play, Chorus reminds us the story of Icarus who disobeyed his father's warning and which foreshadows the story of Dr. Faustus. Chorus appears 4 times in the play, and Chorus is acting as a neutral observer rather than the judge of Faustus' character. The tragic and horrible moment in the life of Faustus is announced to the audience through the closing mournful monologue of Chorus. Who is Dr. Faustus? A 16th century scholar born in Rhodes and studied in the University of Wittenberg, Germany. He is interested in necromancy and he believes that sound magician is a mighty god, and according to him, these metaphysics of magicians and necromantic books are heavenly. Whose advice does Faustus seek to study black magic? Valls and Cornelius, they are the friends of Faustus, and bad angels tempt him to study black magic, whereas good angels persuade him to study Bible and sacred books. Who is Wagner? He is a Faustus servant, a pale reflection of Faustus, and Wagner acts as a narrator in several places to fill the gaps in the story. Faustus desires to become learned as Agrippa, a popular magician of Germany. What will be, shall be, divinity adieu. Whose words? Dr. Faustus. Faustus begins his incantation in a grove, and Faustus conjures Mephistopheles. Who is Mephistopheles? A servant of Lucifer. Faustus asks Mephistopheles to change his ugly appearance as a Franciscan friar. How is the life of Lucifer becomes a warning for Faustus? Lucifer was once a dear angel of God, and he fell from heaven because of his aspiring pride and insolence. Who persuades the clown to become his servant for 7 years? Wagner. Wagner asked the clown to give his soul to the devils for a slice of meat, and Wagner promised the clown that he will summon 2 devils, Ballier and Belcher, and he teach him how to turn himself into a kind of animal. For that, the servant should call him Master Wagner. The clown wants to turn into a flea so that he can go anywhere. Faustus' pact with Lucifer for offering his soul is valid for 24 years. Who said, "If I had as many souls as there be stars, I would give them all for Mephistopheles"? Dr. Faustus. What is written in the arm of Faustus when he signed the document? "Man fly." What does Faustus write on the document? Faustus gives to thee his soul, and he signed with his own blood. What are the terms of agreement between Faustus and the devil? 24 years ultimate power in exchange for the surrender of his soul, and Mephistopheles will be his assistant and present unseen in the room. At the expiry of 24 years, he will give up his soul. According to Mephistopheles, why does Lucifer demand for his soul? To enlarge kingdom and to make humans suffer. To enlarge his kingdom and to make humans suffer. Who said marriage is an idle, meaningless ceremony, a plaything for children? Mephistopheles. Which question of Faustus does Mephistopheles refuse to answer? Tell me who made the world. Because the answer is against the kingdom. Where is hell according to Mephistopheles? All places shall be hell, that's not heaven. What does Faustus read from the book of magic? About heavenly bodies and their movements. He traveled through the heavens on a chariot to learn the secrets of astronomy. The 2 monuments which Faustus greatly desires to see is in Pope's privy chamber. What does Faustus and Mephistopheles do at the time of Pope's dinner? They make themselves invisible and curse noisily and box Pope's ear. Who invites Faustus to the palace after hearing about his fame? Charles V. He wants to see Alexander the Great and his lover. Which are the 7 deadly sins? Pride, covetousness, envy, wrath, gluttony, sloth, and lechery. Pride hates to have parents, and pride says, "I am Ovid's flea." Covetousness desires Faustus' house and all the people in it turned into gold. And wrath comes out of lion's mouth and be roaming all over the world, stabbing all those who come in the way. Envy is born to a chimney sweeper and wishes to burn all books because he cannot read. And gluttony's parents are dead, and his grandmother was a cask of dearest wine, and his relatives are bacon, herring, and claret, and March beer. Sloth was born on a sunny day. He complains that Faustus has hurt him by making him appear before him. And lechery is the last of sins, whom Faustus wants to go back to hell. We will rather die with grief than live with shame. Whose words? Benvolio. Benvolio is the knight who interrupted Dr. Faustus' conversation with the emperor, and he is skeptical about the powers of Faustus. Faustus sells his horse for $40 to a horse courser. He tells the horse courser that not to ride the horse into the water, and he rode the horse into a stream, and it turned into a heap of straw. He decides to get his money back and tries to wake Faustus by pulling his leg, and the leg comes off. Faustus' leg is immediately restored, and he laughs at the joke he has played. The Duchess of Vanhol, who is pregnant, asked for ripe grapes to Faustus. What do the scholars ask Faustus to see? Helen of Troy, the admirablest lady that ever lived. Which is the famous comment made by Faustus on Helen? Was this the face that launched 1,000 ships and burned the topmost towers of Ilium? Sweet Helen, make me immortal with a kiss. Who enters to persuade Faustus to repent? An old man. And his faith remains unshaken even if he is tortured by the devils. Who says store of pleasure must be sourced with pain? Mephistopheles. At the end, Faustus transfers his property to Wagner. The serpent that tempted Eve may be saved, but not Faustus. Who said to whom? Faustus to the three scholars. Which is the shortest act in the play? Act 5. When the clock strikes 11, what does Faustus see? A vision of hell. When clock strikes 12, the devils enter and Faustus becomes panic and abandons magic and screams to burn his books. Who delivers an epilogue at the end of the play? Chorus. The chorus concludes the play by comparing Faustus to a branch of a tree. Cut is the branch that might have grown full straight, and chorus wants the audience to learn from Faustus' fall. In the epilogue, chorus conveys a message that never do unlawful things and practice more than heavenly power permits. Who is the author of the German novel Dr. Faustus, published in the year 1947? Thomas Mann.
And here ends the discussion of the important questions from the play Dr. Faustus. And if you find all these questions or all these videos are useful for your exams, just like, comment and share with your friends.